an Ohio State quarterback who's lighting up the National Football League right now. A guy who you have said countless on this show, and I give you this, you have been the biggest fan of C.J. Stroud since day one. And C.J. Stroud impressed me on Sunday because he threw that interception in the fourth quarter, bounced back, got the Houston Texans in field goal range to win the game as time expired. Now, was some of that because Tyler Boyd drops a pass that would have been a wide open touchdown? Probably, but who cares at that point? Joe Burrow, and I love Joe Burrow, and I've defended Joe Burrow, and I've called him a top 3 quarterback in the league on this show.
You have.
He played the worst fourth quarter he's played since maybe his first year back at LSU. Too bad, and I mean Josh Allen-like, and we'll get to that later in the show. Interceptions in the fourth quarter to set Houston up. And I said today on Brandon's World, if you get a chance to listen to my recap, for some reason, and I love Cincinnati, and I told you about how I feel like they're Super Bowl contenders all year long, but they have to be healthy. When Chase isn't right, when Higgins doesn't play, they're not the same team. When everybody's healthy, they can roll people. When they're not healthy, it doesn't matter if it's a lineman out. It doesn't matter if it's one of the receivers out. The whole offense is in disarray, and I don't understand it.
You're talking about it. The Bengals have basically dug their own hole. Think about it. Joe Burrow, he was not healthy at the beginning of the season. What happens? They lost to the Browns. They lost to the Ravens. That's 2 early division losses right there. All of their losses so far have been against AFC teams, including last week against the Houston Texans. So, and their one win so far is against Buffalo. So that's the only tiebreaker the Bengals would have against everybody else. The Bengals would not have the tiebreaker. So the Bengals on Thursday, and we'll get to this Bengals-Ravens Thursday night showdown a little bit later, but I'm going to say it. This is a must-win game for the Bengals on Thursday. It is absolutely a must-win.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly make the argument in terms of the division. I still don't know if you can trust Baltimore to be healthy the rest of the way, and who knows what we're going to get out of Pittsburgh and Cleveland. That's a conversation for another topic we'll get to later in the show. C.J. Stroud, though.
I tried to tell you. I've been trying to tell you.
You've been trying to tell me. And I'm here to say I'm still not that big of a believer in C.J. Stroud.
Are you kidding me?
I think
what else does he have to do?
I think he's had good games. A lot of it has been against average defenses, not the best defenses. I think he's made Tank Dell really good. He made Noah Brown pop out of nowhere. I think he's been a very good quarterback. But we've seen it. We've seen quarterbacks walk in year one and light up the sky. And what do? Year 2, year 3, year 4, they slowly fall off a cliff. Baker Mayfield had a great rookie year. And I love Josh Allen. Right now, let's face it, Josh Allen's falling off a cliff. And I love Josh Allen. I think he's a top 5 quarterback in the National Football League. What about my guy, Carson Wentz? Who remembers Carson Wentz, who had the best season as an Eagles quarterback outside of Jalen Hurts last year? I can remember in my entire life, and it's not even close. He gets hit in the head by Jadeveon Clowney. Turns out he has CTE and can't find a job in the NFL until the Rams have to desperately call him. I like C.J. Stroud, but there's going to come a time he has not been down double digits yet in the fourth quarter facing adversity. That's what I need to see out of him still. Bryce Young this year has taken all the lickings. He's taken all the beatings. It's going to make him better because of it. I'm still a believer in Bryce Young. We heard the reports about Carolina going out of the trade deadline, potentially trying to get a Devontae Adams or a Jerry Jeudy. They did not pull the trigger. But I'm here to tell you, folks, I'm not moving on by draft day take. I think C.J. Stroud will be a very good to capable quarterback. I still think Bryce Young was the right pick
Absolutely not.
for the Carolina
Absolutely
Panthers
not.
because it's what the tape showed.
Absolutely not. You are out of your mind, dude. You are I don't even know what language you are speaking right now. The
Oh, they're
Carolina
going to beat
Panthers.
Arizona this week. Whoop-de-doo. What am I going to take for that? People are going to say CJ Stroud to the MVP conversation. Even though his team has 4 losses.
I don't care. CJ Stroud belongs in the MVP discussion.
Okay, let's get right to it.
it.
So you're saying he belongs in the MVP conversation?
Yes.
His team has 4 losses.
I don't care.
There are only 2 people right now in contention for the MVP. One of them is last year's MVP, Patrick Mahomes, and the other one should have been last year's MVP in Jalen Hurts. That's it. We got 2 people in contention for the MVP. It's Mahomes and Hurts, the 2 teams with the 2 best quarterbacks, the teams with the 2 best records. It's simple.
Are you kidding me right
now?
No,
I'm not, Josh.
You are talking such nonsense right now. It's not even funny.
Stroud this year. Week 2, we got his doors blown off by the Indianapolis Colts.
I don't care. Did you see what he did to the Jacksonville Jaguars? Guess what?
The Jaguars' defense is not good. And guess what? Didn't I say that last week? They're not a good defense.
Guess what?
I don't care if they lead the league in takeaways. They don't stop anybody outside of takeaways.
Guess what? Dude, the Jaguars won the AFC South last year.
They came to the worst division in football. They're going to win it again this year.
No, they're not.
Oh, they're not. Do you want to put something on that right now? I'll put something on that. What do you like, Dr. Pepper? The chicken wing? What do you want?
Houston's going to win this division.
They're not going to win the division, Josh. They're not.
Yeah. Oh, my God. What? Okay, let me ask you this. Before CJ Stroud came on the scene for Houston, did you know who Tank Dell was? Did you know?
Yes, I did know who Tank Dell was.
Did you know who Nico Collins was?
Yeah, he was a 5th-string wide receiver, but I knew who he was. By the way, he's having a breakout year. He's okay. He ain't nothing special.
I wonder why he's having a breakout year. I don't know. How about CJ Stroud?
Stroud has played well, but he has not played at an MVP-like level.
You are talking nonsense right now.
Because he only has 2 interceptions. That's what y'all are basing off of.
Dude, you sound like an absolute lewd right now.
So, the best game he played was the Tampa Bay game. That's the game I'll give you. That was the best game he played. That was elite NFL quarterback play in the 4th quarter against Tampa Bay. That's the game I'll give you.
Did you not see what he did last week in the clutch against Cincinnati? When the Texans needed a drive.
An interception in the 4th quarter, and then Cincinnati dropped a touchdown pass, which led him to drive down for the game-winning field goal. What if he needed a touchdown?
Okay, but still, the way CJ Stroud was able to operate in that position, get his team down into field goal range. It's not as simple as you think to get your team.
And they're 5-4. How can you be an MVP candidate when you're 5-4?
Have the Texans been relevant at all the past couple seasons?
By the way, I picked the Texans to win 7 games this year. I thought CJ Stroud was going to have a really good year and have a chance to win Rookie of the Year. I'm not surprised by any of this. If their record a little bit better than I thought, sure. But I don't think they're going to beat Jacksonville again. I don't.
I do.
I know you do. You're the biggest fan of the By the way, who he lose to? Bryce Young. That's his own. By the way, that's where their loss this year is to Carolina. Their only win. That's disqualified from MVP right there.
No, it doesn't. Okay, this week, let's see. Houston hosts Arizona. That's a win
that's probably a win. Unless, I don't know, Kyler Murray can come out of nowhere again like I said he would against Atlanta. What else do you got for me?
Okay, and Jacksonville hosts Tennessee. That
should be a win, but again, it's a divisional game. Tennessee's mad. Will Levis couldn't play against the Bucs defense. We'll see if they bounce back.
And then in week 12 is the showdown. You've got the Jaguars at the Texans.
I'll take Jacksonville win that right now.
I'm taking Houston.
I'll take Jacksonville win that right now.
CJ Stroud absolutely belongs in the MVP discussion. You cannot deny it.
I just denied it. There's only two people in discussion: Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes.
You are 100% wrong on this
I'm
one, buddy.
not wrong. They're the two best teams, the two best quarterbacks, the two best records by
Okay,
a mile, by
okay,
2 games.
wait. Think about how much Houston was in disarray. They fired Lovie Smith. I don't even remember who their head coach was before Lovie Smith.
David Culley. He was the wide receivers coach for the Ravens.
Okay.
I said that Houston was going to win 7 games this year, and they'll probably win about 9. So it's 2 wins above their expected total. What do you want me to do with that?
If they win,
they're a good story. It's not the MVP of the CJ Stroud is not the most valuable player in football right now.
What would the Texans be in the discussion to win the AFC South if they did not have CJ Stroud right now?
If Bryce Young, if the shoe was on the other foot, I think it'd be the same result. Yeah.
I don't. No way.
You know why? Because
would the Texans be the number 7 seed in the AFC playoffs right now?
If Anthony Richardson was healthy, which he's not, the Colts may be on his story, because Anthony Richardson was playing better than CJ Stroud, and he didn't even finish a game this year.
But answer the question. If CJ Stroud was not the Texans quarterback,
well, who would it be? Davis Mills?
Answer the question. Why are you avoiding
That's why I'm asking. Who would it be? If it could be Bryce Young, I said yeah, they'd be the 7th seed.
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, they won.
No.
If CJ Stroud was in Carolina, he'd be getting thrown to the ground too, because by the time Bryce Young drops back, he's on the damn ground.
The Panthers absolutely made the wrong decision taking Bryce Young.
See, that is 2020 hindsight. You think that already. What if they get him a weapon next year and Bryce Young becomes the MVP of the league? Because that could happen. They're in a weak division. They're in a weaker division than Houston.
Oh, boy.
They got Atlanta. Arthur Smith can't figure out how to use a running back to save his life. New Orleans doesn't have a quarterback. Tampa's going to be getting a new quarterback more than likely. Let's go. Get a Devontae Adams. Get a Jerry Jeudy like they tried to at the trade deadline. And I promise you, Bryce Young will be in that MVP conversation because Carolina will be winning the division next year.
You just don't want to give me the credit for being right about CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud's a very good quarterback. I'm not here to say he was the best player in the draft already. Can't do that. It's unfair.
What else does he have to do?
Remember when everybody said Lamar Jackson can't throw and Baker Mayfield was the best pick for the Browns and he's better than Josh Allen after a year? How does that look now?
Hey, I wasn't one of the people saying that.
Okay, what I'm saying, there were many people saying that. And how did that look now? You have to give these guys a year or two to see. CJ Stroud has the lead right now. I am not ready to give up yet on Bryce Young.
Oh, boy. CJ Stroud's just going to have to continue to prove you wrong, I guess.